Hello. Yeah, anybody can say hi.
I learned that from the last episode.
I appreciate that from you. We are back with another episode of Backyardi'Yinz, the Pittsburgh Backyard Wrestling Podcast, and today we have a full room. We said we probably wouldn't go over 4, so Dominic's not going to talk very much today. We don't care too much even that he's here. If it wasn't his house, we wouldn't have even called him, to be honest. But
I will call you.
Returning to the podcast for the first time in a couple episodes. He missed us. We missed him. Across the room from me, we have the champ. How are you tonight?
What up, man?
Shit, dude. So I got a question for you. What was your favorite WWE match ever? If you just the first one that comes to your head, go.
I don't know,
but
Kofi Kingston was involved.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, some Kofi Kingston match.
Yeah.
Probably on a Superstars episode.
Well, I want to say when he won the championship. That was sick.
Okay, yeah, I fuck with that.
I don't even really care about the actual wrestling, just the fact that he won. It was like the happiest moment of my life.
I'm just happy you have an answer because I wasn't sure if you would. So I fuck with that for sure, no doubt. To the right of JP, we have Dominic. Hello.
Hi. So it was The Undertaker versus Mankind in Pittsburgh when he threw him off the cell.
Yeah.
And I say that because I make everyone watch that match who doesn't watch wrestling.
Perfect. Absolutely. That was very easy to get through. To the right of him, Josh Todd returning. He is now Facebook famous.
Facebook famous.
How do you feel about it? I'm surprised you're not charging us to have you here.
Well, you didn't get the bill yet.
Okay, word. I appreciate that.
Coming in the mail, kid.
Can I do installments?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. You know
We'll
how
make
to
it
handle
work.
this type of stuff. What is your favorite WWE match ever?
Shit. So there was this live event in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
That's where we live.
Right here, right now.
Eve Torres versus Natalia. You ready for that?
I did not.
What?
So to be completely honest, I did expect it a little bit because you told me last time we hung out. But but that is still a little surprising.
I couldn't remember much of the match now, but I just remember sitting in the audience being like, good Lord.
Yeah.
These fucking broads are tearing the house down.
And that was before the Revolution. So you had
man.
the eye before WWE did.
Yeah. But aside from that, too, I'd say Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 21.
Nothing wrong with that answer at all. To the right of him, Focus Steve Phoenix, Sean Beastie,
Steve.
Cowboy Boy. How are you today?
I'm doing great after you went through that Rolodex of nicknames and
So many of
wrestling
them.
names.
Absolutely. What was your favorite WWE match ever?
Hack Edgeman versus Twisted Outcast.
That is not a WWE match. We know that's our WWE match. Give us a real one.
Oh, man. I was sitting here thinking, I should probably do this Hack Edgeman joke again, that I didn't actually consider what my favorite WWE match is.
Right.
Shit. Kurt Angle versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, SummerSlam 2001.
Yep, that's another good one. I dig that. Me, I'm Sick Rick, the kid with the hot bars, and my favorite WWE match ever is probably Triple H versus Mick Foley, Hell in a Cell. Could be Undertaker, Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell. We'll just say that. Yeah. Hell in a Cell is my favorite WWE match ever. Now that you know a little bit about us, we're going to talk about backyard wrestling as opposed to pro wrestling. This time in our lives, we were 18, living on a dream, just trying to find the next state to go to, the next road to hit, and the next wrestling show that we wanted to be a part of. Through all that, we were doing some stuff at home, some stuff away, and we decided that maybe SWC shouldn't be so standalone anymore, right? Like, we are meeting up with these dudes once a month, sometimes twice a month, and instead of carrying our own home show storylines into stuff, we decided let's all just join up, right? So SWC, CBYW, ICW, maybe even a little bit of BWA in Chicago. We decided that we were going to become a super fed that we called Revival. That was Steve's idea for the name, taking off of reviving backyard wrestling, very simply, but also reviving ESW, right?
Yeah, and the main thing why I remember we're talking about this is because everyone brought their goddamn belts, and obviously myself included, that it's like, why should we care about this one more than that one? And so it's kind of a way to, like, only defend these at this show, like the Revival champion. You know? That was the idea.
Yeah, absolutely. So Revival started off with a bang at JAS3, but before we got to JAS3, last episode we talked a little bit about BYS2, and we had a couple JP matches and a couple worthless matches at the time. So worthless. And honestly, you guys got over in the room last time when we were here filming. Do you remember either of your matches from BYS2?
No.
So day one, you wrestled Catonic, and day two, you wrestled the pen name.
I remember the pen name match.
What do you remember about it?
The Woods.
The Woods.
I remember the Woods.
Him jumping out of the tree stand.
Psycho.
Yeah.
That was nuts. Yeah.
Canadian Destroyer off the picnic table.
Yeah.
Also pretty
I
cool.
remember that we had a whole false finish planned because everyone thought like, oh, this is going to be a spot fest. So we tried to have like the most simple match and end it. And everyone would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, so I do remember that.
A little
That was
bait
cool.
and switch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
for sure. Jumping out of the tree was crazy. Story was told that maybe you wished you took a spear off of that instead of him jumping off of it.
Yeah, I think I got cold feet. And like at first we were supposed to do something off of it, and I'm like, dude, that's up there. I climbed up and I looked down, I'm like,
Logistically
might be
doing
you.
a move off of there wouldn't have
yeah,
been easy.
Right. So
Josh was there for day 1. He showed up a little late, didn't wrestle. But day 2, you wrestled Katonic in a super kicks only match, basically.
Yeah, that was a
Remember
good
anything
time.
about it?
I got kicked in the face.
You did.
It was a good time. I think that was one of my favorite matches ever because it told a story.
Told a great story.
It got you right here.
Now, the repercussions of that kick to the face, what was that?
I went to MedExpress because I almost bit through my lip. God bless.
I remember.
So
What you
I went to
said.
MedExpress, first time ever. Swear to God. And
bless.
I'm a little, I guess, what would you say, reserved in my backyard wrestling. So, but I guess I let my hair down for this particular match.
Love to see it.
Because backflips off the what do you call those things?
That's
Ladders.
a ladder. Yeah.
Backflips off the ladders. Boom.
Fucking love this guy here.
Frickin' super kicks to the face at the wazoo. And then I was at MedExpress.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there after the show, and I'm just, my lip, it's hanging off my face. What can you do?
Nothing.
You go to MedExpress.
It's the only place to go.
And then the guy to my right walks in, bless his heart. He says, it's a good super show when Josh is sitting at MedExpress.
I completely forgotten about that until he told me.
And you know what? I completely agree. So maybe we'll find a way to get you to MedExpress after this episode of the podcast tonight just to make sure it's a good one.
Yeah, you got a skateboard shoe nearby?
I'm sure
Literally
Dominic can hook
wearing
it up.
We'll figure it out.
Vans right here.
Oh!
So that was BYS2, and we had a great time with the last episode. It just dropped today. It's doing numbers already, so we'd love to see it. We'd like to thank all of our viewers out there that care so much to watch our stuff, but don't care quite enough to comment on the stuff. So maybe we could change that going forward. Hopefully somebody, just say hi. Just type the letter W on there for us, and just let us know that you're there. W for Wiser, no doubt about it. Yeah, the champ.
Oh, you know what?
Oh!
Just a carryover.
Yeah.
Who commented? Who commented on the video today?
My mom.
Your
did.
mom. Yeah,
My
talk
mom.
about that.
So on the last episode, it was mentioned that people might have believed that my mom didn't have legs because she was sitting on them. And I'm showing my mom this episode of the podcast a little bit. You all right? You all right? You good?
It gets funnier.
It gets better.
First
So
of all, wait. What's the name of the account?
Rick's mom's here. She pulls up YouTube on her phone and writes, I have legs.
I figured Rick made the account.
No, I absolutely did not. No, I did not.
That makes sense.
Wait, did you get your head off the mic?
I did not expect that.
It's nothing but great content here. So yes, my mom does in fact have legs, and then after BY,
Thank you for commenting, Rick's mom.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear you have all your appendages. We good?
absolutely.
I know he's gonna crack again.
Dude, I was trying so hard not to laugh for some reason. I think Leviver is fucking funny.
I hurt my little liver.
Can you mirror it?
I don't know why. It's just fun to say.
So after BYS2 was over, we decided to jump into a couple home SWC shows just to wrap up some things. We showed one at the end of the episode last time whenever I came out and celebrated with the new championship. But directly after that, literally 2 days later, we had Ground Zero 14. And this is where JP was finally going to tell us why he did what he did when he did what he did what he did.
Is that the shirt you're wearing?
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, we made you do a promo.
You're up there in a tree stand.
Talking about
All
why
right.
you turned on.
Listen up here. I'm going to explain what the deal was with me and Bo Burnham.
Tell us.
Let's hear it, kid.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you know, he brought us all in this group CTK. Thought everyone we were gonna be this big thing in wrestling. We were gonna be bigger than everyone else. And I realized, you know, that all he did was use us to get to the top and use us to stay at the top. That's true.
And now JP's at the
Looks
top
like
by
I'm
himself.
at the top now.
Yep.
There you go.
Blew
But
a spot.
you know, everything. All he did was lie to us, and
I like
we
how it
always
sounds.
came out and we helped him. What did he do for us? Fucking piece of shit. I don't think he did anything.
I don't think he did anything.
And that's where I'm gonna end it because I don't know what else to say.
Fucking JP on a tree stand. You gotta love it.
Didn't know that happened.
One of the many.
Little Ryder, look at this guy.
Sick.
What the fuck?
Great hat.
If he walks through this door one day,
Dude, I'm gonna lose my mind.
We're gonna have to get him out of Allegheny County Jail if we want to make that happen.
nuh-uh, ACJ.
Can we visit him?
So,
Low Ride is in jail?
no.
Oh.
He works there.
kayfabe is,
He
yeah.
should
Oh.
be.
He works there.
So kicking off this show, we have a fun little fatal four-way between Worthless Lil Ryder, Caden Angel, and Hack Edgerman. Do you remember this happening, Josh, at all?
Yeah, I remember how good my tush looks in those frickin' shorts.
Oh, man. I see a little bulge, too, actually. I shouldn't have been paying attention to the shorts.
Who you calling little balls?
You could tell how much Ed was looking forward to this match, considering that he wore his best socks that day. He's not wearing his usual green.
I'm sure he was
shorts.
looking way forward to it to get kicked in the head by me.
Oh, it's coming. Nope. JP's
Oh, look
getting
at
it. Why are we turning on Josh already?
Oh, dude, great move.
Elimination.
Wow.
I didn't know that happened.
Yeah. Wow. You kicked him out too. Really glad we waited a whole 2 shows to do that. Not you do it at POS too.
Ed's the best backyard wrestler of all time. We all know this. He can carry Quinn, Lil Ryder, me, my mom, all in a match together.
And, ironically, he can carry a tune.
Look at that.
Oh, man.
Doesn't afraid of tire water.
Tire water was probably my...
That was good.
So many amoebas.
That was good.
Tire water was probably my biggest fear. I never wanted to touch. I'd do anything else back there. Tire water was disgusting.
I don't blame you.
So it's just added Lil Ryder now?
Yep.
That's cool. Is this for anything? Do we
No.
know? No, just
No.
for fun?
For
Yeah.
the people.
Just to get the storyline across, get some
Wow, and
spots
Lil
in.
Ryder won.
And then we have JP getting a title opportunity.
Dude,
here.
why am I still Echo if I left?
We didn't change your name yet.
Oh.
And actually, that was partially on you because you couldn't decide what you wanted your name to be. Josh was in the process of figuring out what his name was going to be.
Names are hard.
Yeah, they're real easy. So we do this cool little thing here that I actually really like a lot. This spot.
Uh-oh. Can he get him up? Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, I
Baylor.
dig it.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
shouldn't have because he took an arm drag for his efforts.
Do you think you still have those pants?
I wish, man. No, I definitely don't.
Rick, why'd you let him do that?
I didn't let him do anything. He's beating
Oh.
me, dude. I'm the
Dude,
champ. I'm trying to retain the belt.
I'm good. I'm good.
Ah, look at that. He's working
Working the butt.
So my favorite thing about
Oh,
JP
wow.
wrestling was that as much as he didn't always have ideas, if you even flicked him in the chest, he was going to backflip and land on his head.
It must have been cold that day.
It was a little chilly, I remember.
Yeah, talk about little balls.
That looked awful.
Oh, big kick out. And we're going to go ahead and throw him over here.
Is this the first time you two have wrestled?
No, my first match ever was against
Oh, that's
JP.
right. That's right. Well, yeah, but
Jay
you know what I
Folklin.
mean. You know what I mean.
No, we had a triple
in
threat
one of
boy.
the-
We had
okay.
some stuff going on.
But as
We
far
had
as
tag
singles?
match. First actual singles
Okay.
match, probably only. Going for the old finisher there, but JP got out of it, and he's like, I'm going to kick you again.
Again? Oh my God! Looks like he tagged you.
Yep.
Dude, no one ever kicks out
Do you
of
think
that
you can
twice.
still do that today, right now?
100%.
All right.
Debut
In
of the
this one?
Hatchet Driver 2. First
Love
time I ever hit it. JP sells it like a champ for me.
Good.
I appreciate that.
That's where he gets the name.
All 3 of them boys and Sick Rick still the champion.
Bang.
I wish you would have debuted that Hatchet Driver 2 against me. In hindsight.
I didn't even know I was going to do
Well,
it.
yeah. Right.
So that show, I only really showed because I really wanted you guys to see JP's tree promo. That's
was
my
good.
favorite shit. Get the Hatchet Driver 2 debut over a little bit and show what was going on directly after Backyard Supremacy 2. But this next episode of Ground Zero is my very favorite. I love the music video. I instantly made it nostalgic by making the song Everlong. And it was like the day that I watched it, I knew I'm going to look back on this video one day and be like, damn, I missed those times. You know?
So you knew the good old days were the good old
I
days.
felt it while I was in it.
So this took place before JAS 3 for sure?
Absolutely,
Oh,
yes.
wow. Yeah, it definitely did.
Yep, yes, it did. So first match of this show, we have Fokelin versus Still Worthless. Oh, that was the best one. That was definitely the best one of those. That was
Believe it
so
or not,
good.
that's not even water.
What is it? Vodka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that this was a school day because you were like, Josh, you
That's
were
why my
like,
hair looks so
yeah,
pretty.
exactly. I remember specifically you said, this is who I try to pretend to be at school.
You ain't wrong.
I remember we didn't really plan too much about this too. Like
We didn't play anything. It was
Yeah,
just
I don't-
all.
yeah.
It was just jazz.
Yeah, just
baby.
going.
Just jazz.
Sure, you guys both have positive feelings about this match because I know I do.
This was a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember it's funny, like in the match, at some point we went like 15 minutes and like I start selling, like I should probably start acting like I'm exhausted. And I was like, man, if I would have the luxury of acting like I was exhausted today, that'd be great.
All right, so we're back at it. That was cool as fuck. Really dug that shit. Woo!
I feel like we learned that in training
Which
from
part?
Sam. The
of
float
it?
over, whatever it's called.
The what? The fireman carry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we learned that.
Yep.
So we were like, well, let's do that.
Probably the victory roll. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I learned everything from him.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That was really cool how you did that.
So this
Everything
is
in match
post
super
BYS
fun,
1?
Clean. BYS 2, yes. Yeah, BYS 2 happened in September 15th or 13th, something shit like that. And then this is like the first week in October.
That roll up that I did where I ran to you and did that, that was because I fucked up my heel sequence.
Dang.
Oh, look at that!
that was so cool!
Boom!
That was very
Love
cool.
that spot.
That was so
Power
cool.
bombs him onto him.
Oh goodness, I'm still that strong.
Yeah, I don't know why. But
There's that thing you do.
Spinebuster's probably my favorite move. This is the best part of the match right here. This was on the
yeah,
fly.
this is so cool.
We tried to do it in the professional world,
Yep.
but it didn't quite go over.
Yeah.
Good as hell. Good as
That
hell.
was so
Very
awesome.
good.
I remember that Pop G, Rick.
Oh, of course. Oh, this.
Why did my hand forsaken me?
Because I threw it.
That's what he said. Oh goodness, ouch, kabibble.
Oh, no, not the blockbuster. Josh doesn't take those. Okay, good. Woo!
Rick, I noticed you were the only one that didn't change your attire at all for this.
What do you mean?
Well, like you didn't have a long sleeve shirt on underneath. Josh goes over. Look at that.
Yes, he did.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. JT the Booty Bobbers in the house. Here we have the champ Jay Pizzle versus the greatest backyard wrestler of all time, the great Malenko Hack Edgerman.
I wonder what he was saying in his entrance. He normally didn't do that. He was like
I
having an
think
argument
So,
with
like,
someone.
there was something up with music on this episode, so we were all singing for each other and saying stupid stuff, and Ed probably got a little frustrated. You can see whenever I make my entrance, I'm making like a fuck you guys singing type
Okay.
of face. JP, who was your favorite person to wrestle? Was that up there? Because you wrestled him quite a few times.
Oh, that's a tough question, man. Anybody that could carry me.
Okay, so
your brother?
most of us.
Yeah.
JP, your brother's there.
He took pictures every now and then. He was a.
I think
yeah.
that's your brother.
No, in the hoodie?
Yeah.
No, I think that's Ed's friend.
Oh,
I'm
maybe
not
Ed's
sure.
friend.
I'm not sure who
JP's
that
brother.
is.
No.
Kind of looks like Jay.
It does.
Honestly, yeah. Ed was fun to wrestle because of his athleticism.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Willingness to do that type of stuff. Here we
I
go.
really-
Fuck you.
Oh,
Dang.
I said it in the last episode. Ed is so good. It's a shame that it kind of felt like we pushed him down on the pecking order.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
for all intents and purposes, he should have been moving up. You know, in the hierarchy.
There was nowhere else to go, brother.
Yeah, fair.
I put him over for 2.5 years straight.
Oh, there we
there's
go.
the retaliation from JP turning his back on Steve twice.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
There's the Merc and the tap. And then we get
Super Phoenix.
to the big main event, Super Phoenix for the World Championship
No
against
way.
Sick Rick, the kid with the hot bars.
I always thought that shot looked so
Jorts.
awkward. This should be easy for Sick Rick,
Oh,
right?
it shouldn't be difficult at all.
Yeah.
Plus, I know Super Phoenix is 3 moves, and I'm not going to fall for. Oh, I did fall for that. Oh man, it's the only. He
I
doesn't
think
do
you're
very
playing
much.
possum.
I am
Hopefully.
playing something.
God, I hope so.
Get him!
Oh, he's got you scouted too.
It's almost like we know each other. Well, at this time, me and Super Phoenix are two of the 3 most tenured people in the Fed.
That makes sense.
Been around the block together. Pablo Lopez was a pretty good dude. He he drank a whole bottle of scotch one night, but we can't really talk about what happened afterwards.
Wow. Is that the tape you're talking about? Scotch tape?
Yeah, yes, that's it.
That's the only scotch I know.
I didn't know they come in bottles.
Yeah. Wow. I wonder.
Super Phoenix has never hit this move until now. Oh, never mind.
Damn.
That's got to be it. Hydro Driver 2? Yep. That's everything. Give me all 3 of them. I keep the belt.
I set a high bar on that, man.
No doubt. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt my favorite Ground Zero of all time.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care about the wrestling or the stories or anything. The music video does it for me. I just love it. And that was Ground Zero 15. Love the show. Love all you guys. It's great that we're all getting together and doing this. We did 3 of these episodes in 1 week, which was, this was definitely our most clustered Ground Zero run. We were going absolutely ape shit around this time.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to think of, like, why the urgency now? Probably because you and I were going away. Well, not going away, but our availability Monday through Friday for college. You're still in high school. And I think it's kind of like, well, we got to kind of force this to happen, so let's force it to happen now, which is dumb because we should have forced it to happen when we had way more availability, but also more availability means time to do other things too,
Absolutely.
right? And it's October, so what else can you do?
Yep.
Not like we're going swimming.
Absolutely. Much like this podcast, whenever you get busy, you have to start making time for stuff, so it seems almost like we have more time when really we have less.
Exactly.
But the home shows at this time were, like we mentioned on last episode, not the most serious thing. That episode was kind of serious. I don't remember any joking around that day. We were just out there trying to put on a good show, everybody having fun. Josh looked like $1 million, and he's riding with us real hard. Champ always doing champ-like things. Fokelin leading the Fed, and Sick Rick wrestling Hack Edgerman in a mask. So I just love it. It's a lot of fun. But the home shows were about fun, and the super shows were about trying to get over, actually, right? And this takes us to the time when we went to Candlewood, Ohio, and we thought we were going for an episode of Avenged, is what Brandon called their home shows. Their Ground Zero was called Avenged. So we loaded up the car, went and picked up Jimmy Nuts and Genocide down in Morgantown or thereabouts, somewhere in West
Mount
Virginia.
Morris. Well, that must have been an easy drive down to Mount Morris, an hour away with no hiccups or issues then, right?
Yeah, getting down to Mount Morris is real easy. And so we're in the Schneider van, packed 3 rows deep. JP's behind the wheel. And, of course, he knows where to go, right?
Yeah, man, I had a GPS.
Yeah, absolutely. And that GPS, it was set to go to Candlewood, Ohio, Mount Gilead, right? No. Where was this GPS set to go?
Look, so when you go in a GPS, there's recents.
Yeah.
And for some reason, me and Steve forgot that we went. I don't think you went.
No, Steve went.
No, we went to
Kentucky.
Yeah.
So
we all did.
I just told him, I don't know, it should be the most recent one in the GPS. So he clicked on it and we drove.
Well, the thing is, okay, so I say this is, 75%, 25%, who's to blame?
Uh-huh.
So JP asked me for confirmation, and like at this point, my memory is starting to get a little bit shaky. But in my defense, the first one I found was yada 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 Loch Ness Drive, and I remember that was that's definitely a trip we took because I remember that's such a cool name for a street. It just so happened that
It is pretty cool.
the Loch Ness Drive. It wasn't the real place that I remember going to. I just didn't consider that could have been the wrong place.
So we're driving for about 40 minutes or so. And then Genocide goes, I don't know if you're going the right way. And JP's like, I've been following the GPS the whole time, dude. We're definitely going the right way. He's like, it doesn't add up, though, because if we were going to Ohio, we'd be going this way. But instead, we're going like south. And it just doesn't work. JP's like, look, dude, I'm telling. All right.
Did we not realize like the arrival time was like 8 hours?
We probably did, and we probably okay. So for kids that don't know, GPSs, you have them in your phone. Back then, we didn't have that luxury. It was a whole physical thing.
Right.
It was a box.
And it probably wasn't as calibrated as what we're used to now. It would like update you on things. So we probably just figured, probably avoiding 18 closed roads, right?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
We can find a way to justify it.
Or like, we came here first for the first time. Like normally we drive straight to Ohio. So maybe it adds 5 hours if you go to Mount Morris first. Nobody really knows.
True.
But we eventually course corrected, made our way to Candlewood, and we ended up showing up sometime in the middle of the night, stayed for a couple hours, got ready for the show the next morning. We thought we were walking our way into an Avenged, and really what we were doing was walking our way into the first ever official Revival show.
I remember we had discussed this with them. This wasn't
this was not us.
Yeah, this
Like, we
was
didn't
not.
say,
yeah,
hey,
we
we're
talked
doing
about
this
this,
now.
and I remember you and I were talking about this, and JP and I were talking at school about like, well, what should the name be? And then like this came up here.
And the thing about Revival was we were kind of the first ones to do this in the next generation. Like after ESW folded, it was that was kind of the end of the super fed idea.
Yep.
And eventually New York came along with their own that they called New Era. Same reason as Revival. It's really like they counterbalanced each other, honestly. The Northeast was New Era. The Midwest was Revival. But it was us and CBYW, who, and I don't know if we gave them enough credit in the first 2 BYS episodes, but to be completely fair, if it wasn't for CBYW, we wouldn't have been able to do a lot of the stuff we did. True. They more than doubled our numbers, and numbers are very important when it comes to shows like this. You can't have 6 matches and say, look at our great super show. Like, you have to have other stuff going on, and CBYW made sure that we always did. So us returning the favor, we show up there, and
Nobody gave out Fuse, though.
No, nobody gave out views.
And nobody ever will.
You say we return the favor as if it was like a chore for us to go.
No,
we wanted to,
right, no, we were really excited to go to Ohio.
Forward
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Yeah, for sure.
I remember I just saw an AFI concert at Club Zoo like about a couple days before this, and I just got a shirt and I wore it to this. Like it was the other shirt, and I lost it. Like that, like the first time I wear it, I completely. To this day, I don't know what happened to it. And this is cool though because look at this. It's the only time we've ever been on the same.
We're all homies.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Like we're SWC.
Steve rips off his shirt and says, "Fuck you." Like, what are you guys doing here? Steve's like. So this is Steve announcing to everybody what we're here to do, what it's all about. It's Revival. Look at Genocide. Finger up. I'm like, what would I do? I'm like, down, turn it, thumbs up.
I did not know that. That was good.
So this whole promo ended up with our boy Jimmy
Skinny
Nuts.
Nutter.
Yeah, Skinny Nutter. That's a great name. That
Friend
should
of
have
the
been his
podcast.
name. Friend of the podcast, Fantasy Nutwork. My guy here is telling Brandon, I fight a lot of people. I like to be a little stiff. And what's stiffer than if we were to take all the padding off of this and take the tarp off and have ourselves a bare boards base match, which...
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Bananas type stuff.
Just like his t-shirt.
Absolutely.
I remember this was supposed to be his last match as well. Like that was it. It was a big deal for him. That's like he was going to make this show because it was his last match specifically against Brandon.
Yep, no doubt about it. And he made it a point that he was absolutely not going to win. This was his last match, and we were all there to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So because of that, I decide
Revival presents Just Another Super Show 3.
Yes. So yeah, it's not avenged.
Right.
It is.
Brandon decided it was JAS 3 at the last minute, and because it was Nutter's last match, I worked at Giant Eagle. Before we left, I bought like a bag full of fucking streamers so we could toss them on him just to give him a little good, feel good down in the tum-tum.
I remember actually one of the things I was really looking forward to about this show is my match with DC Doom, and I remember down at school with JP thinking like, I really want to do a lot of arm drags in my match. Like I never really do arm drags. I want that to be the story, and I was like really looking forward to it, and that'll be relevant.
Yeah. Here.
Is this the show? There's a lot of arm
He
drags.
never followed through on any of them.
And like I remember getting progressively madder and madder because like when he did, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And like, but I seen him do it, and they were great before, and I was like, why did he forget how to wrestle?
Yeah, he just had a bad day this day. Rough day at the office. I handpicked Livewire as my opponent because I really wanted to give him a go, and he was fun to wrestle with.
Was it this show? Wasn't it Livewire that had a birthday and we chopped him?
That was the last episode.
Good
Yeah.
Oh, you talked about that last time.
Dude, I fucked him up.
You gave him a hell of a back chop.
You were the last one of that. I swear to God, I can hear that like from the apartments.
Don't y'all mention
You
that?
spit in your hand and shit.
Yeah, we talk about that.
I remember.
Watch the podcast.
Oh,
Dude, it came out 5 hours ago, and I was at work.
Go watch the podcast.
God damn it! And Rick didn't even send it to me. I had the link. I had to find.
Is
it on
that
the fucking
Levi there?
YouTube.
That is
Yeah.
Levi, yeah.
Good biceps.
Yeah, definitely. He was thick. He was nice. We had JP versus Tony Sheets here. Fokelin versus DC Doom. Jimmy Nutter versus B Snow and the Bear Boards. Oh!
Bang.
Tony
And,
Sheets was just
Sick
a
Rick versus
nice guy.
Livewire.
Oh,
He was
just a nice guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we got Hack Edgerman versus Catonic versus Genocide.
I love the fact that Katonic and Hack drove 18 hours to wrestle each other, and they could have just did it at our.
I think they literally did,
Yeah.
very soon
Yeah.
after this, actually.
I remember, so I was the ref in this match, and I hated making the pinfall.
Yeah, eventually you
It's like,
started doing the foot count
that
because
hurt
it sucked.
so
yeah.
bad.
Feel that.
Oh.
Oh, good spot.
Good lord.
Genocide didn't care about himself or you. Oh,
Well, we tried.
yeah. Some days are good days, some days aren't.
Nothing but love for like
DC
Josh.
Doom,
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, when I said I got mad, like I was like mad at the situation.
Right,
you know?
absolutely. Look, we've all been there. I've seen people walk out of backyard matches because they were frustrated. Shit happens.
And it's funny because it was the one thing I was looking for. Like, it's not like it was just like the other, like, yeah, he happened to just screw this up a couple times. Like, no, that was the match, and I was stoked to do it.
Yep. Oh, shit.
Oh,
Is there a more athletic combo in backyard wrestling than Hack and Genocide?
Very few. Very few.
Oh, that was interesting.
Reverse Kirby.
I remember you used the Three Little Pigs by Green Jelly for this.
I certainly did.
And I don't know why I suggested it to you, but I was, it.
That was the funny part.
It was
So
the-
I always like to make my own like songs for music videos, but every time I did the Ohio videos, I'm like, Steve, give me a song.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah, every time.
Oh, that looked. nasty. Oh.
God damn, Jimmy Nuts. I fucking love you.
Oh.
He's my hero.
Aw.
Oh, that was a counter into a DDT. That was cool.
Yeah, one of JP's signature moves were a DDT.
Love that.
So, do we want to talk about
This was a destroyer on a ladder, and it didn't get caught on camera. But I had to leave the clip in just so I remembered it happened.
Jesus?
You're an animal.
Do we remember Nutter praying before the match and getting in his own head and what happened?
I don't remember that. Let's wait until after we're over to talk about
All
it.
right.
Brother, we're already over.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, this is kind of like Nutter's moment, like his time to shine,
Absolutely.
break through, and
Right.
be presented as the main eventer.
Just the athleticism.
Who, Kebbo?
Kempo and,
Yeah, he's
and
sick.
Ed. Both of them.
Ed's wasn't a natural athleticism. He was just gifted in being able to allow
Oh
his
my
body to
God.
do some shit.
He's like the Briscoes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like he was made to wrestle
Yep.
and only that.
Yep, absolutely. Right.
In
Oh,
fact,
this spot's sick.
oh,
that was
Lung
cool.
blower Merc.
Very cool.
Oh, I wonder what's next.
Oh.
Love this move.
I love that Kevin isn't wearing knee pads, so it literally looks. Oh, that was sick.
he
Yep.
don't need them.
Spear!
Oh,
Oh.
jeez.
Who's that? You?
Yeah. Oh God.
The Folk 50. I think the rest of the way we just got bare board stuff here.
I wish that was called that. At
Yeah,
the time.
we really missed an opportunity there.
Shit.
Just like somebody asked me.
Oh, that would hurt Brandon so much more.
There's I'm using my feet.
He won't count the three. Why won't you count the three? Why aren't you counting three?
It's his last match, man. It ain't cool.
What do you mean it ain't cool?
He also was gonna put his glasses on the line too. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah,
he did say that.
no, not if I have
this
anything to say
frickin'
about
Oh, no, you dirty mother flucker. Give him it. That's got
Thanks.
That's
Dude, fantastic.
Steve went ahead
No
and
one
screwed
does
him.
it better than
One,
that.
Two. Oh, no! How did he kick out of that?
it. I don't know. Because
Crowd was
he's a
going
good wrestler.
absolutely apeshit during this time. Loudest crowd I've been around. At least a crowd of that size, as loud as I've
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
been
It wasn't
around.
a big crowd.
And that's got to be it. Yes, Jimmy Nutter wins. He's not going to retire. And you could have the belt. I don't need a belt to make me good. And that's the end. So he put his career and his glasses on the line in a bare boards match just to give him the belt back immediately.
Yeah. So you had mentioned he had every intention of being. You brought streamers and everything, but
Yeah.
he won.
He won, yeah. Absolutely.
What I was alluding to is while he was crouching down and praying, whenever he was going through it, he looks up and goes, "I don't want to lose anymore."
Really?
Yeah, he was so dead set on stopping. He did everything, but he was gonna get into pro, And like literally, like I remember, I want to say it had to be him because I can't remember anyone else that was praying that would have been in that scenario. And then we were like, well, what do we do? So I guess I was under the impression that you knew this, but I guess it would only be me and Snow that knew this.
Right.
And so that they came up with a new finish. But yeah, in hindsight, he really wanted the belt. He really wanted the championship. He's going to do everything. I don't want this anymore.
I don't need it.
I don't really.
Everybody knows how good I am. And you know what? We really fucking did, especially after that match. He was ready to ride. Very fun to watch. Very fun to be a part of. A little bit scary at certain moments, but still, like anything in backyard wrestling, it's always going to be a little scary, but a lot of fun. So,
Josh wasn't there, right?
Josh,
No.
Why
wasn't
weren't
there.
you there? Could you think?
How can you miss me if I don't go away?
That
I
makes
feel
sense.
that. I feel that, definitely. Especially after, maybe it was an injury angle. He got kicked in the face. He's out for
Maybe.
a couple months, you know?
Maybe.
Gotta see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that probably shook you a little bit. That you're like, wow, I don't know.
I think
if
I was
wanna
emotionally scarred
Yeah.
hitting this man in my left with a vacuum
Just
piece.
could never go back there.
I needed to reflect.
That
yeah.
makes sense.
I definitely
It's a
feel
sacred
that.
ground.
So I'm not exactly sure when this happened, but at one of the Ohio shows, we went to Buffalo Wild Wings to eat, pulled out to go home. We're about 5 minutes up the highway. JP decides now's the time. We're getting home. I'm hitting the freaking gas. We're out of here. And little blueberries and cherries in the rearview mirror almost immediately grab us a ticket.
I don't remember this at all.
I'm pretty sure I got a speeding ticket on the ramp.
Yeah, right. We didn't make it
Yeah.
off the highway
That's
to get
like when
home.
we were in Arizona. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Well, also, I actually just completely remembered I had to go to the bathroom at B-Dubs, and it went right through me. So I went into the stall, and all of a sudden I hear like bang, bang, bang. What you doing, Steve? You pooping? And he's like shaking it, and then like the next thing is totally logical for Kevin. Then he like lays down on the floor, crawls under the stall, and sits on my lap,
Oh,
and I'm
my
already
God.
uncomfortable to begin with, right? Because when you're that young, you're not comfortable taking a shit in a public location.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now he's sitting on my lap, like horizontally, with his arm around my head. He goes, "Everything coming out all right?" And then as he leaves, he doesn't close the stall door. But then, when we're leaving, like we're getting ready to go, we're saying our goodbyes. She's like, "Oh, I gotta pee." We're outside of the building, and he like, "I don't want to go back inside." So he like just walks up and just pisses on the side of the restaurant, just willy nilly, not hiding, not behind it, right on the side. And some waitress comes out, and she's like, "You can't do that." And he goes, "Oh, okay," or something of the sort, as if it was new information to him. And that's when I was like, he is a wild card. I love this kid. I already loved him, but wow.
I can't wait for his employer to hear that story.
That is absolutely the most genocide story ever. All of that beginning to end is what you get with genocide.
That's a lot of genocide.
A
right
whole
there.
lot of it, and a little bit of Steve while we're at it. So we hit the road, get back home. JP pays the speeding ticket, and we're ready for the next one, which just a couple weeks later was Midwest Extravaganza in Indiana. Midwest Extravaganza was the first Indiana show that I ever went to. I don't think you went to one beforehand.
Correct.
So this is the first for all of us then.
First time I've ever been to the state.
Right. And we weren't scheduled to be there. We were surprises, and we lied about what we were doing that weekend. Do you remember what our cover story was?
Bragging rights.
Yep. Do you remember the main event? I remember it very vividly.
tell you.
John Cena versus Randy Orton in an Iron Man match.
Oh, yeah. Really glad we missed that one.
So we put it over like we can't possibly miss it. They're doing an Iron Man match in Pittsburgh. John Cena, Randy Orton. How many times are you going to get to see John Cena versus Randy Orton? We have to be there for this. Sorry, guys, we can't make your show, right? But really, we could. Same weekend, though.
On the way.
On the way,
On my way.
we had plans to drive up to Clarion to go see our homeboy Dominic, who was colleging his life away up there, right? Why did we go up to Clarion?
For a good time.
Does that no
Bo
one remember?
Burnham?
I remember.
Bo Burnham?
Yeah, Bo
Yeah,
Burnham.
Yeah.
Bo Burnham, absolutely. Dominic,
Ben Bailey open for him.
Did you hear that?
is that the Cash Cab guy?
Yeah.
I thought he was so much better.
He
I
was
like
sick.
Bo Burnham, but
Yeah,
The Cash
he was
Cab
more of
guy
a
says,
seasoned
"Fuck."
comedian for sure.
Yeah,
Bo
no
Burnham
doubt.
was just hot.
Do you remember what? Oh, I shouldn't say it.
Dominic, what do you remember about us coming up to visit you in Clarion?
Well, I remember you guys coming twice. I remember everyone's coming a lot. That's the one thing I remember. Not a lot of memory at all of it, actually, but I do remember sitting down and watching Bo Burnham with you guys. I would assume that I would have been in the dorm still.
Yeah, you were.
Did you guys come visit my dorm?
Yeah,
did.
you showed us around a bit.
Okay, so
I remember some cement steps on the outside of your dorm. We hung out for a little bit. Me and Ed probably smoked a cigarette or whatever, had a good old time.
So who all was there with you guys?
It was all of us and Ed.
Okay, so everyone in this room and Ed.
Ed was there, yeah.
Wait, yeah,
Okay.
Josh, you were there too. That's
And
right.
where were you guys going afterwards?
Indiana.
Okay,
Anderson,
that makes sense.
Indiana.
And it was a long ass trip that we made even longer by going to Clarion first.
I remember being kind of like salty about that. Like once I learned that it was not along the way at all,
No.
but it was like, well, how salty can I be? Like it's not like we're just doing
That's what
it.
I was wondering. I'm like, you going up, and
Yeah,
then you're
it
coming
didn't make
back
any
down.
sense. And I was like, we're gonna get there so early in the morning,
Well,
not even
thanks
late
for
at
telling Steve. Fuck you. We're going to visit Dom. Or did you just not tell him? Like,
No,
that
I
was out
knew.
of the
No,
way?
we all knew.
Okay.
I think it was your idea, JP, because I feel like well, that's what I want to do. I'm driving.
Damn it,
All right.
JP.
Well,
Dude,
I
I
think it's
can't
empty.
live.
Well, Bo Burnham was definitely worth it. I think.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was-
I don't
I
regret
thought
it.
that was awesome.
I mean,
Yeah,
I love
Bo
the
Burnham
cash
was
cab
sick.
guy, no doubt.
Dude, before we like just for his purpose and like just being there to watch him just for this core memory, I remember driving around like Homestead, I don't know, like around the Sandcastle and like the waterfront, listening to Bo Burnham with you
Yeah,
guys and
we did
like
that
just
often.
knowing all the songs and stuff. So
Dude.
like to see him that quickly
Yeah, it was cool.
afterwards was kind of unique. And like, why the hell was he at Clarion?
Right.
You know?
I'll
I
tell
mean,
you
college
what.
campus tours
Yeah.
are big.
Yeah, Pittsburgh would be.
I'm
too
gonna
big.
keep this really short, but like we should talk about it after the podcast. Bo Burnham is one of the smartest
Yep.
human being. Like if you actually listen to his music and like he is too smart for his own good.
Right.
Yes.
Like it's unbelievable. We'll talk about it after.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, because he started just by like making like funny songs on like one piano, and then like the CD, it was like, wow, it's a big deal. Like he's actually making real songs, and then it's like, oh, he's doing stand up now. Like it was really cool. And like, yeah, I was salty at the time, but like I have a very vivid memory of like sitting in what I assume is the auditorium and like looking down to my either right or left and seeing all of us. And I was like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Like, this is a moment right now. Like, we're
You got to take
together.
it in.
We're together. We're on the way to a show. And, like, we're hanging. Because we didn't really hang out, right? You know, like, we established that. It was just, like, a really cool, like, life's good.
Yep. And funny part about this is I grew up a poor boy from a poor family, so I didn't always have money to get to these shows. And this was one of the situations where I was like, I'm going to be straight by the time the show comes around. So it gets to the Friday whenever we're all leaving and everybody's in the car and you guys are like, we're coming to pick you up, bro. And I'm like, no, you're not. I don't got the money. And Ed immediately goes ghost white. He tells me, he's like, he can't even breathe. He's like, now I'm going to Indiana with these 4 dudes who I really don't know that well, and like,
Right.
we got to go up to Clarion first. He's like, you absolutely have to come to this show. I'm like, I can't, bro, I'm broke. And all of you guys being good dudes, you're like, just get the fuck in the car, dude. Like, let's go. If you need to eat or something, we'll figure it out. Like, let's just get to Indiana. And Ed said he does not know what he probably would have made you guys drive down to his house to drop him back off if I wouldn't have went.
I think it was established ahead of time that you couldn't come. And, like, we decided, like, we're going to bring him regardless. Like,
Right.
and we probably surprised you, to be honest. Like, come on. Like, showed up, like, knocking on I remember kind of knocking on your door. Like, hey, come on, you're coming.
Yeah, I don't necessarily remember that part, but I do remember that, gracious friends hooked me up. And we were able to hit the road and go on down to Clarion, and then we rolled to Indiana. And not going to lie, the trip to Indiana was one of the longest, worst, most tiring drives I've ever experienced. That shit felt like it took us 3 weeks to get there. We pull up in the morning, so we don't even get to sleep. We got to be surprises, so we're all hiding. JP parks his car at the church at the end of the street, and we all walk up to Johnny Light's house so they don't see the fucking Dodge. And we're just...
Wait, just in hindsight, like, how easy is it to blend a car in versus 6 or 7 of us, like, definitively? Like, that was risky. Why did we
Absolutely.
do that?
No idea. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
why
right?
why
Like-
were we walking?
They know the Cavalier. They know that. They won't recognize us.
So we were surprises for this show, and there was a cool scene that we used to kick it all off, but couldn't find it anywhere. Don't know if it's on YouTube. I know I don't have any of it, but do you remember how the surprise was revealed?
It was initially had confirmed to go, and the idea was I was going to be a surprise, and you guys were not even in consideration, right? So then Pen Name came out and cut a promo saying the person who disappointed me most is Vocalin, and of course that's my cue. And then it's like, but wait a second, I didn't come alone, and here's the boys. And do you remember the theme song we used? We had a theme song.
Of course not.
Really? JP, do you remember?
Fuck no.
If you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Hit me! But it was the Linkin Park version. Because I think Alex kept saying, like, I'm from the hood, stupid!
What type
I'm from the hood,
stupid?
So, like, we love that. And I was like, well, let's use that as a theme song. And then I was like, well, no, let's use the Linkin Park one.
Yep.
Yeah, and that song slaps.
So you jumped off the roof, and we come around the corner 4 deep, and we get a nice pop. It was fun to see.
I jumped off the roof?
You jumped off the roof. You came
Incredible.
off the roof because the rest of us were around the corner waiting. You were out there because you didn't come from the same corner we did. We all waited.
Are you sure you're not confusing that for the December show?
Positive.
My
I wasn't
reveal?
at the December show.
That's what I'm saying. So, like,
Yeah.
the visual of that, I don't think, because who would have caught me?
Well, nobody.
I wouldn't have done that.
Wasn't a high roof.
But
wasn't.
even if I wouldn't have
So
done,
what? You just came out the back door then?
I just went the other way to divert the attention. I'm 99% sure that's what I
Okay,
did.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I
I
know
feel
you
like
weren't
you
with
would've
us.
done
though.
that. Yeah, that was the idea,
You
to
came
divert,
from
yeah.
another place.
Yeah.
I thought was the roof. Maybe that was the December
Right,
show.
right.
But you came out by yourself. We come out and we get a nice pop, and it was fun to see. And we're going to take a peek here real quick at a mixed order video made by Sean Jovi Selby.
That's a fun name to say.
Yeah, right? So with this video, I actually I cut out all the stuff featuring us because we're going to watch our own stuff. So this is a little memory jog of this show. You guys got any specific memories that don't involve wrestling? Two?
I remember
I don't think I've ever spoken
when we first
in my
got there. I
life.
feel like this was like when I first walked in the door, but if we were surprised, maybe not. But I remember specifically walking in and laying in bed with Rockin', like immediately.
I think I laid in bed with someone I had never met in my entire
It was
life.
probably Rockin', and we probably did it together.
I might have.
Because I've never met Rockin' at that point
That's
either.
good.
But
when
you
we
knew
met
who he
him.
was?
Yeah,
I'm
knew
like,
who
hey,
he
Big
was.
Will with the splash.
I don't know
Holy
who he is.
shit.
I remember 2 particular things about this day that isn't related to wrestling.
Is it the nighttime?
No, actually. At one point, oh my God, that was brutal. I love Castro. Shout out to Castro. Yeah, so this is the first Chicago footage. We'll have to take a time to address that. But
Absolutely.
At one point, I remember standing right where Castro and Stacy is standing, and just like taking it all in. And then I got
Wow,
the
that was a weird way to do that.
strangest sense of deja vu, and I was like, "This is so weird." I've never even been to the state of Indiana before, and knowing what I believe now, that's pretty interesting.
Right.
And then I remember another time, it was day 2, there was a wasp that flew right by my face, and someone was like, "Oh my God, that thing was so close." And I yelled out, "Come back, wasp, I was going to kiss you." And no lie, the wasp came and landed on my lips, and I went, and then it flew away. And then it was Devin's ex-girlfriend and her friend were standing right next to me, and we just kind of went, "Did that just fucking happen?" Like we could, and like both those things just like stuck with me. That was such a beautiful moonsault.
Who that?
That was
Elliot
Elliot.
Ness.
Elliot.
We'll
Elliot
talk about him.
Ness.
So, this is the first show that we met a lot of these people. Rad Hazard, the Chicago guys, FX back again for like the 4th time in a few months. We've seen a lot of him. Sean Jovi Selby we met for the first time.
Ugh.
There's a good old pen name chair shot. I believe that was some type of GBYWN title match.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Big Will was the man, dude. He did a lot of stuff that someone
What's he
his
up
size
to?
shouldn't do. He's losing weight, living life, doing good.
God bless.
Yeah, absolutely. The last clip on here is something that I'm sure we all remember. I made sure to save it till the end. Matt Nix being celebrated. Here we go.
Oh my God!
Oh no. Oh god.
What is happening? Like the blood.
She got bumped on and Scorpion at the same time.
Who is that?
That's Tara Calloway.
Tara Calloway, yeah.
I don't
Thousands died.
Kustos. Yeah. Yeah, so that was terrifying. That goes viral every now and then.
Terrifying.
That was both day 1 and day 2, right?
That was both days put together. Yeah, that was
Okay.
there was a lot more clips in there too, but they got taken out because we're about to see them here coming up soon.
Oh, okay.
One thing that I'm going to mention before we even get into our matches here is that Ed wanted me to bring up particularly that him and I just did not have a good time this weekend. Like,
Really?
Both of us were very close to quitting wrestling permanently after this. It was just something about the crowd or the vibes. Like people felt very self-aware or more self-serving, I guess I should say. Whereas like I remember specifically a couple people having a match and then going inside to watch their match on camera instead of continuing to watch the show. People hanging out around the side of the house and practicing their match while other matches are going on. People just straight up back turned to the ring a lot of the time. It was just, it didn't feel like everybody was there for the show. It felt like a lot of people were more there for themselves.
Right.
Which happens. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm sure there were certain situations where I was there for myself more so than the show. But it just felt like an overwhelming number of the people there.
Vibes were different.
Yeah, and it just... Ed didn't wrestle day 2, put a real sour taste in my mouth in general. I remember being super fucking grumpy about all of it. And it was just, it wasn't my favorite wrestling experience that I had while I was doing
Shadow, let me ask you this.
Do you remember one of the cool things about this show, though, that we experimented with?
This show particularly? I don't think so.
This show in particular, what Pittsburgh brought to the show.
I do remember now. Yeah.
Yeah, we used at this point I had found a live streaming website.
Twitch before Twitch.
Yeah, you could like add like whatever videos and like literally it was like a mini like TV station, or you could use your webcam and go live. And so I think maybe you brought your laptop and we used that and like we shared it. Like we didn't have Twitter then, but we did have Twitter, but like it got out that like, hey, you guys can watch it on, live as it's happening. And I thought that was pretty cool.
What was that called? I remember that, but I don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
As far as I know, that was probably one of the only backyard shows that were ever live streamed. I don't remember it happening again. I don't remember it happening before that.
As far as super shows.
Right, yeah, right. But yeah, so that happened at that show, and we're going to get into our matches from that weekend as soon as I take a pee. I break it for cookies, though, because...
How's it feel that you got your cookie maker pregnant?
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We didn't talk about that from the last episode.
Oh,
I figured
drop
it was
that
a secret.
bomb. No, man,
like
he
a
Facebooked
shameful.
Dom, do you want to talk about it publicly?
Okay.
He Facebooked it, man.
Yeah, that's true.
And welcome back from break. Dominic's wife's pregnant.
And it happened during the break, believe it or not.
Wow, that's the longest I've ever gone then. Over 10 minutes.
What's your secret?
Oh, yeah. It happened during the break, not the entire break.
Closing my eyes and holding my breath.
Should have held something else.
Womp, womp, womp.
So you're saying it's a lot like swimming underwater? Okay.
That'll work. That'll do. That's perfect. That's great. And we're back to see ourselves wrestle in the yard again at Midwest Extravaganza. Yard again? Backyardi'Yinz?
You said see us wrestle in the yard again.
You're drunk.
To wrestle at Midwest Extravaganza. Today, we're going to look at day 1. Not me and Brandon, by the way.
I was saying, didn't you have a group name that or something?
Me and
Day
Brandon.
2.
Not me.
So this show kicks off the entire thing with, oh, look at that. Look at that.
I got a Snapchat of that moment.
Yeah, you're welcome. I love you.
I did not expect that.
I thought you were going to get body
I should have.
Snapchat wasn't around during that.
Just today. Or yesterday.
Yeah,
whenever I was
yesterday.
editing this. Putting it
So-
together.
Wheels were turning in my head.
Elliot Ness debuting this new character because apparently whenever he had joined CTK, he really customized his, I say gear, but his ripped up shirt and stuff with CTK and whatever. And then he found out that it broke up and he was like, well, I guess I can't wear this anymore. And
Didn't
he's
even
really
get to use it once.
Yeah, he wore it like at his home fed. But I was like, well, no, his character's a crazy guy, right? Like he's the only one that can continue thinking he's still in the group. You missed an opportunity there, buddy.
Look at his butt cheeks in them freaking pants. Good Lord.
So this is JP kicking off a super show. And let me tell you what, the kid was in his prime this weekend, bro. JP killed shit twice.
He had a good night's sleep.
No, he certainly did not have a good night's
the
That's
worst
why.
night's sleep. Imagine how horrible his drive was. I drove it.
No doubt about it. That shit took forever. And
I was just
JP
saying you came correct, bro. That's all.
He came ready to, definitely tore the whole house up with this match here to the point where we thought the crowd was gonna be fucking great all weekend. I guess they used all their energy.
Oh, dang.
Beautiful. I also feel like that we were at super shows sometimes, you know, a really vocal part of the crowd.
Yeah.
So like whenever one of us was wrestling, it took away from, you know, the six of us or how many.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thing about this match is I helped them plan this guy. I was kind of like a road agent for this match. It was a lot of fun to sit down and tell JP what moves he did so that he could put a match together.
That happened a lot in my
What a
career.
sell. That was good.
Right? Look at that.
Damn.
I watched a lot of YouTube to find moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. I literally have the notebook where I was sitting in high school just coming up with JP's moveset.
That's funny.
I fucking love JP wrestling, dude. I was like, if he could just fucking...
Why would you take it out of the ring?
Because he's really stupid.
Math.
He's good at things.
Did you say math?
Math.
Oh, and you lost because you took it out of the ring. That's not good.
What a dummy.
So this is a music video I just found a couple days ago. There's a lot of effects on it.
Cooper
So
Kelly made that.
Yeah.
I just that CK. I'm like, what the fuck? Also, this is the first time I met Rad Hazard.
Yep.
So I was kind of leaning into the loner gimmick that was desperate. Okay, maybe I'll go back to Rad Hazard. Like a guy like goes to his, you know, toxic ex.
Right, yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I need friends. I need someone, you know. So that was that idea.
Yeah, and you guys did a promo thing where
Oh my
like he
God.
starts to
That was
accept
rough.
you and then he like beats you up and kicks you out or some shit.
Yeah, that was specifically at the end because I knew
Yeah.
it wasn't going anywhere.
Oh, that was an amazing
Jesus.
bump. That was so good.
And
I
this
was always a fan of the spears where they landed to the side
Yeah.
of them.
This was the debut of my zebra tights as well.
Oh,
would
which
be-
you know adds up.
That was cool.
Both.
I remember that.
Where's this kid's parents this weekend?
I don't remember if they were at home. I know I
Doesn't
was
seem
at
like
home.
it. Whose house was it?
Johnny
Johnny
Lights.
Light.
I remember somebody broke one of his like pictures or something, an 8x10, a frame.
Oh
geez.
man.
It was like a framed thing, and like apparently she was pretty upset. Like that was like her breaking point.
I remember we weren't supposed to touch the neighbor's fence and we weren't allowed on the roof.
And
we
what
did
you
all
do?
of that.
You did it. You did it back to
We
back.
did all of that.
I don't know if I knew that.
Yep.
You knew that.
Oh, it's False Count Anywhere, by the way.
Yep. And now this music video goes on to Alex Sparks, who made the rest of it. They did like a tag team music video edit here. Bump of the weekend. This was pretty dumb. A lot of people liked it.
I forgot about this.
Ooh.
Cement.
It's very safe though. You can see his hands
Yeah,
under
yeah.
make sure everything went okay. Oh, what's he gonna do? Pink pants? You got to end it with a sharpshooter if you're wearing pink
Oh yeah, I
pants.
hadn't put that together. I like that this is a False Count Anywhere, and look at that, my manager got involved. I wonder if they're gonna have any interaction later. I like that False Count Anywhere. He took me to the ring. I remember this was on the fly.
That was on the fly?
Yeah, yeah. I wish he said that the way he rolled out of the way actually made it way more dangerous.
Yeah,
But he
right.
said he wanted to wait till the last moment to do it.
Yeah.
He did.
A lot of big spots.
Hate when it happens. Shout out Shadow.
Shout out Shadow. Boom, ladder to the head.
I like Cody.
This is a long highlight video.
Step on that.
It's very long, dude.
That little post was
No,
sticking
no,
out.
no.
What is happening?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, shit. I wish that was in color so we could see it a little better.
It looked just like that, but Stacy still had pink pants.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
My gear wasn't affected.
Dude, I remember that little thing for the ladder was sticking up.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah, I
they
remember
were
that,
they were
man.
trying
Yeah.
to step
Yeah,
on it, and
yeah.
it went right up Steve's butt.
In hindsight, Johnny probably should have finished with the Canadian Destroyer.
Yeah, right,
But
right.
then I would have lost. So I'm
Right,
glad.
absolutely. Yeah, it was important that you won.
Yeah.
SWC strong.
This was his house?
Yeah.
This was Johnny Light's house.
His
I don't
mom's house.
fucking remember him.
I mean, come on. That's why he's wrestling Ed. You got to reward him for
Look at
hosting
the
show.
charisma of him. Look at like how like he just doesn't like Ed's like leaning into it, and there's Johnny Light. Like,
Oh, man.
Just imagine him talking like
So this is one of the few music videos that Ed made. He really enjoyed a lot of the stuff that he did in this match so
Dang.
much that he made a
Good
point to make a
clothesline.
music
This
video.
this was Randy Orton versus Randy Orton.
Yeah, right.
That's 3 for 3 now on SWC guys getting bumped out of the ring. I noticed
Absolutely.
because you haven't wrestled yet, right?
I
Yeah, I
haven't.
didn't think so.
Eric, you You said that Ed didn't wrestle day 2 because he wasn't happy after this, but he made his own music video for it.
He wasn't happy with the crowd, but he was happy with 2 of the bumps that he took in the match.
There's the laptop. There's the laptop.
Where the laptop at? Where the laptop? No.
Oh, dude.
I know what it
so
is, but I don't
fucking
want to talk
good at
about it.
everything.
Man, Ed deserves Johnny was a good kid.
Yeah.
But like,
I was thinking the same thing.
he's just
He was raised
Ed's
well, you could
charisma
tell.
is off the charts, and he's like wrestling, and Johnny's.
Well, that's how you know when someone's actually good.
Yeah.
No offense to Johnny Light, but
Right.
when you have a Johnny Light match and you make it interesting, you're
right.
you're
Yep.
you're solid.
It's interesting. Oh, jeez. I'm saying like you can definitely.
Yes. That's awesome.
It's almost like you can tell the passion is completely different. Like
Yeah.
just how Ed's motions and the way he's making everything look believable versus Johnny Light, who's remembering what to do next.
And
you know?
like speaking of the passion, if you look at the crowd, everybody's hands are in their pockets.
yeah,
like, folded
well, that's
up
probably
there.
getting chilly.
And
at that
actually,
point.
now
Wasn't that
now
cool?
that you say that, it really makes sense that Ed would be upset if he thought his match was
Yeah,
as
yeah,
good
that's
as he
100,
thought
yeah.
it was to
Right.
make his own video, and no one really reacts.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense now.
And then
There.
he felt, that bump was stupid. He kicked the shit out of him,
Yep.
dude.
That's why I said Randy Orton versus Randy Orton.
Punt versus Ed's RKO.
Yep.
He's dead.
Look at the cell, bro. Ed,
He's
look at his
dead.
lights are so
Yeah.
broad.
Oh my God, Ed is so
So
good.
fucking good.
So good.
All right. And here we have, I think, my favorite match in the history of Revival.
Oh, this is my match.
So right before this match, me and Josh are standing around the corner, and Josh is like, I need a name, bro.
Oh, that's right. This is the time.
Literally right before this. And I'm like, you're not feeling worthless? He's like, no, but I don't know what to do. I'm just an average Joe.
I am.
And I'm like, well, that's your name, kid. AJ Todd. That's what it is.
I remember those bloomers. Look at those little freaking
So-
Maroonies.
Rockin' was doing a lot of the announcing for this show, and I was like, I got this one, bro. And I get up for fuck. This is AJ Todd now. You just hear Steve go, what? Another name?
I remember at this point we were kind of over FX's habits, which in hindsight they probably weren't that bad.
No,
but,
they
you know,
were.
his-
Yeah,
And so
right,
I
right.
said, don't worry, guys. Hold my beer. I'll take care of them.
And yeah.
And Shawn Michaels the whole match.
And what's funny is, like, you take a lot of it seriously. Your moves are very crisp. You did some cool spots, but whenever it was time for you to do the thing, you did the fucking thing.
I remember specifically, we were like, you're not going to do it, are you? You're not going to do it. And you're like, yeah. Well, we play in the beginning. I really like the beginning. Then after that, we're just going to happen to forget everything. Like, you're going to throw him a loop just to fuck
There it
on
is.
him.
There's the first
Hey, there
one.
you go.
Oh, man, I'm a goofball.
Halfway across the yard. Run up for that.
What was that?
I've never done that in my whole life.
That was cool.
This video's a lie.
Oh, that was a good bump I jumped in.
See, I didn't realize that you
Oh,
I wonder if he knew.
we'll be coming around the mountain.
That was awesome.
I'm a little scamp, ain't I?
I completely forgot that you, Shawn Michaels, sold it too. I just always remember that you intentionally fucked up what you were about.
That was
beautiful
cool.
to me.
That was super cool.
So, like, he would
I'm a
fuck
big
off,
deal.
and then as soon as it was time to do the move, boom.
You were thinking, this is the part that's going to get in the music video. This is the part that matters.
This was cool, though.
Oh, man.
Good little thing. You just gotta roll over, though.
Also, what the fuck is FX's gear? We specifically liked that he had gear BOS1, and now he's back to, like, look at that.
Absolutely perfect.
Beautiful.
Really,
Oh!
Nice.
You thought about it.
bang.
Head rush.
That's it.
No,
he must have
kicked
picked
it.
Oh, look at
It's
this.
probably for his championship.
Oh, that was cool.
Who edited this video?
I did.
That's disrespectful not to get the kick out in there.
Oh, come on.
He kicked out of the head rush.
Yeah,
This isn't a music video. This is just
ignore it.
sponsor
Just
that
ignore
shit.
it.
Come on.
Big
That's
Will
all three.
started the pin before Josh's shoulders were down. I'd like to say there's an
And I've been putting
asterisk
him
on-
over this whole time. Big Will.
Then he showed his real colors.
I don't see color.
Before this, whenever the internet was the only place that Rockin' Rivera knew of me, he talked a lot of shit. So I show up for this show, and Devin's like, Rockin' used to talk a lot of shit on you, so we put you in a match together. And as soon as me and Rockin' are sitting next to each other talking about, like, wrestling, best friends
Yeah.
immediately.
You
Like,
click.
right away. Right away. It was very simple. Also, this match here is another reason why Ed hated the crowd, because he fucking loved this match and people were silent and he was just like, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
That's another time where you followed. You wrestled later than me.
Yeah. And I think I realized that happened actually quite a few times. Maybe it didn't quite seem like it, but along the course of time, I definitely...
Rightfully so.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and Rockin'...
That's why I'm not on any of these shows. I'm waiting till all of you have your last match so I can wrestle last.
Here we go. Here's a spot.
You'll never outlive me.
Oh,
Jesus.
God damn.
I'm going to be
It takes a
honest. I
German
missed it.
suplex
Can you
into it.
rewind it? That makes your editing harder, but I want to see it.
That's okay.
We're testing you, boy.
Your gear is almost exactly opposite of one another. It's
Yeah,
so
right.
close.
One of these guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whose idea?
Dude, I know how
Mine.
bad that hurt.
I never gave a shit, dude. I always came up with that stuff.
I fell down a tree before, and that's
Yeah.
not fun.
If it was in front of me, it would have been terrifying.
Right, absolutely.
Oh,
Goodness gracious. Oh.
Ah.
Ouch.
No,
right in the
north.
that's awfully heelish of you.
Yeah, you're right.
You gotta get out of there.
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
Backyard show.
Oh, I remember this. That was the best moonsault you ever did.
It was 70% good. I didn't know
Oh,
what he
dang.
wanted to do there,
That was
so
rough.
it didn't work. But
Oh,
Nice.
look in the background over.
I was just thinking, why didn't Eddie work with Domi? And I
Right.
see why.
Yep.
Yeah, that's lame. To do it.
Oh.
They're just not aware.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, at least don't do it in the fucking background.
Right.
I agree. Yeah.
Dumped him.
Oh,
that
beautiful.
guy.
That's what he gets.
1, 2.
Beautiful.
Oh, he fucking kicked it.
Did you get bumped out of the ring too? Are we 4 for 4?
I mean, I got thrown into a tree.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, no, I do get bumped out of the ring for the finish.
Spoiler.
We must have enjoyed the height of the base.
I think
you
so.
know. Look at that. There she is. Oh my god.
There's no reaction.
That
Not
looks
right, dude.
very
it was,
painful.
It was so demoralizing, bro. It's more reaction for the fact that Rockin' won than I just took that move onto the fucking ladder.
Yeah, right.
So after the show's over, we all go out to the Chinese buffet, as FX would call it.
Yep.
We grubbed our life away, and then we went our separate ways. Ed and I went back to Johnny Light's house. Were you with us? Do you remember where you stayed that weekend?
I had to stay with you, I'm sure.
Just me and Ed, because we split.
I'm sure I stayed at Johnny's.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah.
Where'd you stay, JP?
He wasn't with you?
No.
I don't remember, man.
Okay, so
Is this where we hotboxed?
We all like
No, that was JAS.
we're like, oh yeah, we're hanging out at Bo Burnham. This is sick. And then it's like, I can't wait to get away from all you
Right,
guys.
yeah,
And we all
absolutely.
went somewhere different.
Yeah, I definitely remember that I was with Ed at Johnny Light's house, but I remember there was a phone call that took place while we were there, and it came from the place you were staying at. I know this story's like a thing for you, so you can go ahead and tell it.
Stacy was adamant about me staying there, and I was like, yeah, cool, like, you know, we're getting along great, like, you know, you like him, I like the man him too, you know, like, just really clicking, really vibing. And we go to his house, and I think it was me, Stace, Jeff, Executioner, Matt Nix was definitely there, and maybe one other person that I can't place, so like 5 of us. So Stacy's up, and we go up to his room, and his house is really old. I think, honestly, the second, maybe it was the 3rd floor, like, the steps went up, and it was literally just his room and his sister's room. Like, it did not have any other purpose other than that. So we're up there, and, like, we're all hanging out there because we're not, like, with the family, right? And then just in passing, it is mentioned his house is haunted. And I am terrified of the paranormal at this point. Just the idea of talking about the paranormal, I would freak out. I want nothing to do with this. Not because I'm religious, just because it's so goddamn scary. And then like Stacey, I'm like, so okay, so like I'm trying to like warm up to it, and I'm like, so what do you mean like it's haunted? And like literally as we were talking, like a book bag just fell off the dresser.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah, like yeah, that
Gets
only
you every
ever
time.
happens whenever you're talking about how haunted the house is, right? That's a movie thing, right? And he's like he's like talking, and it happens, and like I must have like very visibly freaked out, where I was like shocked, and I went like that, and he goes, yeah, like that all the time. And he's like totally chill about it, and I'm like, okay, like, this is no bullshit. Like, that thing just fucking fell. Like, there's no motion. So then, as the night goes on, I'm getting a little bit more and more, like, just when I start to relax, then something else would happen, and it'd bring me right back to heightened sensitivity. Well, and, like, Nick is like, this is the scariest goddamn... I'm like, okay, you're scared too? Great, okay. And then we find out Jeff is scared. And then, like, the scratching on the door is getting, like, more and more intense. And then it's, like, slowly progressing into the doorknob turning. And every time something happens, we very clearly react. We're like, oh, my God. Because at this point, whatever we were doing up there didn't matter. This was something we were experiencing. And I remember at one point, the doorknob was literally, like, almost as if somebody was trying to open a closed door the wrong way, like pulling it, and it was pushing, like the sound of it was like shaking and rocking. And like, I remember the way that the room was set up, it was like the door and then the bed. It's just a mirror of this. And I remember like the 5 of us, 6 of us, how many ever, we're all like as far away from it as possible, but we all chose Stacy's bed for some reason. Like, we were close to it, but we didn't want to be near it.
Yeah, right.
And like every time something would happen, we'd like get a little bit, like we'd jump away. And then at one point, the whole thing is like shaking. It's like fucking like really dramatic. And we're like, okay, we need to just open that fucking door. Like we need to stop this. At one point, we find out that Jeff is ticklish, which you don't want to admit to anyone ever, but especially when you're in the scariest goddamn moment of your life. So we start tickling him.
As friends do.
Yeah,
Right.
we needed to get that door open, but none of us wanted to be the one to do it, right? So we start tickling him. He jumps up like, hey, Jeff, you're up. You may as well open the door, right? Like, fucking yes. I remember at one point, I remember texting you, like, Stacey's house is haunted. This is the scariest goddamn thing ever. And then, like, it spread. And then, like, I think Rockin' grabbed a crucifix.
Wait, you texted JP?
I think so, yeah.
So then you were definitely with us, because that's when we got the phone call where it was like, oh, holy shit, all this stuff's going on. And I think I guess you were probably with us too then. We were hanging out in the living room with Johnny Light, and we're discussing, like, do we go over there and see what the fuck is going on? Because you guys were all tweaking and we were just, like, chilling,
See, I remember, like, getting the message back that, like, okay, we're coming over. And I remember just, like, being absolutely mortified of more people seeing how terrified I was. And then, like, in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, we're coming over there. Like, fuck this ghost. I think that was kind of the message, because we figured out, like, Stacey said the old owner, her name's Katrina, so it was like, fuck Katrina. And
Fuck
like,
that bitch.
I would get texts like that from everyone. And I'm just like, I'm literally going to be the first person to die of fear. And like the other texts I'm getting is just no big deal.
Right.
So Jeff is making his way to the door. He's making his way to the door, and literally, like, I can't reiterate how dramatic, how much of a movie scene this is. He reaches, and like as he's slowly reaching for the door, there's like a loud hissing sound, which that was it. Like,
That
we're like,
fucking cat, man.
you would think it was a cat, but it was like more like, it was louder. Like, it wasn't like a cat hiss. Like, it was like almost like a stereotypical.
A demon.
Yeah, right? And like, Jeff reacted the only way he could would be to jump away from everyone. And I remember he jumped literally on top of us, and I got an elbow to the head, but I didn't even care, because now, like, this thing is getting way and way more violent. So, like, I don't know how we ended up getting to the balls to do it, but we finally opened the door and everything stopped. And we were like, all right, cool, yeah, good, yeah, that's fucking terrible. And then it turns out that it was all Stacy's mom, and they had found out that we were terrified, and they were fucking with us.
That's fucking hilarious.
That being said, that book bag fell. Like, that was, right. All the theatrical stuff was 100% a work. And, like, I remember being so conflicted on my emotions. Like, on one hand, it's like, how fucking dare you do that to me? Don't you know how scared I am,
Dude,
right?
that's funny.
And I'm 21, I'm 18 years old, and I'm terrified. I remember we were literally on the point of tears. Like, we were so, and like, Stacy was like quivering, and I was like, why are you scared? Aren't you used to this? And I'll never forget, he's like, huddled up, he's like, you never get used to this. And I was like, fuck, this is real. And then, but like, so I was kind of like mad that I'd gone through that, but then I was like,
Stacy in on it?
no, he had no idea.
He didn't know either.
So I was like, kind of like mad, but also it was like, that was the most scared I've ever been. But I fucking survived.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can do anything.
And our night was very uneventful. We went the fuck to sleep.
Was this not the trip that we got chased by that dude? Fucking.
That
No.
was, yeah, I think.
That was Ohio.
That was Ohio.
That was Ohio? Was
No.
that JAS 3?
No.
Four.
Five. No, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
4 was cold.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, we'll
talk
talk about
about
it.
so many.
We'll talk
Oh,
about
was that
it.
the car ride trip?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was JAS 5. That's a good one.
So what
So
happened?
many.
So then
So
day
many of these
2.
things.
Yeah, our night was very uneventful. We went the fuck to sleep, and we woke up the next morning, and we're ready to wrestle again, day 2. And by we, I mean just a couple of us, because Josh didn't wrestle day 2, and Ed didn't wrestle day 2.
Why didn't you wrestle day 2?
They couldn't afford me.
I get it. I get it.
Hello, boy.
Midwest Extravaganza, day 2.
You got all your energy out working with FX. You're like, ah.
So because I worked against Rockin' day 1, I got Chris Breakdown today. So this was, booking-wise for me, this was fucking awesome. 2 new dudes,
Yeah,
both
right,
from Chicago. I got to have a really good... Ended up becoming friends with both of these guys.
Why did you
went-
abandon your uncertainness
I
during
did-
your
I never
entrance?
did.
Because he
Never
won
did.
the title. Now he's confident.
Yeah, I eventually do it again. So this, I remember before this match started, I was still grumpy from the day before. So I'm like, listen, everybody come and stand around the fucking ring and act like we're at a super show. So for like the first 13 seconds they did,
Everyone, yeah.
and then they all went and sat back down again.
Yeah. That sucks.
Rat
Chris
bastards.
Castro's name was Chris Breakdown?
Yeah.
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 Always?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not as
Until
cool.
he started pro. Yeah, he went to.
Dude, I
Broadcast.
thought his name was Chris Castro this whole time.
Well, that's his real name.
Yeah, I thought it was his work name, too.
Kind of like how Chewy is more known as Chewy than Justin.
Yeah.
Like, he's a J. I love nothing but love for Castro. We had a little experience in Chicago randomly where he was like, someone was giving me dirty. That was beautiful. Dirty looks on a subway, and he's like, anyone gives you a problem, I'll take care of
Yeah,
it.
right,
And I
right.
was like, dude, I'm a ride or die. Like the fact that you would do that.
So
like,
we
such a good dude.
I built this whole day saying that he's not allowed to kick me. I'm not letting him kick me in the back.
Because he was known for that.
Yeah, and like he was fucking motherfuckers up. He was giving some good like log kicks to the back, and I'm like, I'm just not. We're gonna do other stuff. I'm not letting
Right.
him do it. So this whole match, he's working my back, and I'm doing some things, and
Oh, you did that to his legs on purpose.
I did.
You were
I
trying
jumped a
to
little
cut.
low.
You were trying to cut down that tree.
yeah. Dude, he was good though.
Chris is so
yeah,
good.
Yeah, very good. Great body control for
John
somebody his
Cena.
build.
I think at this point the Chicago kids were getting trained by someone by the name of Boz, or because like Chris Craig definitely had some sort of training as well as Rockin'.
The jester backflip because he made an impression. Oh no, I don't get to do that.
I thought that would be another bump out of the ring. Did you open the show proper, or is this just
No,
the way that
Not-
we're watching?
yeah, this is just our first the first SWC match. of
Man,
this
you're
day.
loving German suplexes into things.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll give them, you'll take them.
That was a big part of any story that I told in the wrestling ring. German into
Jeez.
something. Oh,
Jeez.
give him one of those.
That was good.
Dang.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Who is the guy what is that?
Yeah, I don't know who the hell that is.
And then,
No.
oh,
Freaking me out, man.
good thing I didn't let him kick me this whole time.
That's the blind.
Oh, there it comes.
He's not really there.
That's it. But that's good, though. You made it matter.
Yep.
And you got, I assume knew that, if I take this in the middle of the match, it's really going to fuck me up for a
Right,
while,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So,
and not only
get
that, but I wanted it to matter. Like, because he was doing it, and it kept being in the middle of the match, and nothing would come of it.
Right, right.
And on top of that, I had seen Yakuza J beat Zayn with the
Oh,
same
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
so
that
I
makes
was
sense.
like, well,
It's
he
believable,
did
yeah.
it. So,
That I didn't even. Wow, I
Yeah.
didn't put two and two together. It's funny because watching, I'm like, yeah, Chris is he's a Jay fan, so that makes sense. I see the influence, but literally didn't. I knew it. I remember the finish was that, but I didn't.
Dude, this is another guy. I
this is
can
Executioner.
vaguely
Boom,
remember
double missed. Blue and
remember
green.
him as a wrestler, but as a human, I don't
That's
remember
funny.
any interactions.
That's funny. It's okay. So that spot, he was like, "Oh, let's do a double mist," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And then we're talking about it backstage, and I was like, "Okay, well, how much do you put in and whatever?" And then afterwards, someone's like, "Oh yeah, that was really cool. Why'd you do that with him?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, well, he's never done Mist before. And I went, that motherfucker. That cosplaying as me as he's wrestling me.
Yep.
That son of a bitch. He's competent.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have no problem with him.
Yeah. And I remember at the time not being like overly excited about how this match ended up going, and maybe that was just because of my overall attitude. But while I was editing this, literally just this morning, I was like, "Holy shit, these guys fucking did some things!"
Really?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I really don't remember this match too well. I think Stacy is. Oh, geez, I may have got him in the mouth. I also want to point out, it's very obvious he didn't know how to do the Mist as far as the color packet, because I'm not blue anymore.
Right.
He is still green. Oh,
Bright
did we
green.
recover?
Yep.
Can we recover? Oh, look at that!
Recovered great, actually.
See, I don't like the flow of this, though. It looks like you do a move. That was fucking insane.
Exactly.
What the fuck was that?
Yep.
That was cool.
Oh.
Yeah, missed time there. That's all right. I'm not too good. I just got dropped on my neck.
Right. Oh.
That was good. I think that's the finish. But my shoulders are down like an idiot. Damn it. That was just me, like, bragging.
Yeah. And that's the end
There
of that
you go.
match. We got
He looks like the Hulk.
yeah. We got one more SWC match to go, and it is the champ Jay Pizzle.
Recognize.
The camera just
Look
hanging
at that
from
hair.
me. Yeah, what were you
Which
going?
one?
All of them.
All of them.
You should race to see who can bring it back faster.
I will lose.
Oh, I'll win.
Oh, this is JP
Oh, wait.
versus Domi?
JP
Dummy
versus
had great
Domi.
entrance music. I don't remember what it was. I just remember that it was
Everywhere
great.
we go,
Yeah.
people always know.
Oh, no.
Charlie Sheen has got a weenie that he likes to show.
So this is actually like styles clash to the extreme, right? Because Domi is like high school amateur style wrestler, and JP is not even a wrestler. JP is a fucking stunt dummy with a great personality and good at doing DDTs. So
And a small
how
wiener.
Yeah, right. And how these guys meshed is actually kind of fucking impressive. JP kept up with Domi as far as the wrestling stuff goes for the most part.
Why did you walk all the way across the ring to do something you could have did as soon as you got into the ring? Why did you do that? I'm thinking it's like some sort of counter. I didn't give you much there. Nothing but love for Domi, though.
Oh, here's one of these. How'd that taste?
You love Gooch.
An inverted pedigree.
You gotta love
Only
it.
seen it once in pro.
Do you remember this match, JP?
I do, actually, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I actually really liked wrestling Domi.
Who-
Like, one of my things is I'm not good at my own, but like I'm easy to carry, and I felt like Domi made it very seamless.
Right. What is it you remember about this? Like, I'm sorry, rather.
I kicked the dog in the face.
Yes, you did.
I do
Right
remember
here.
that right there. Yeah,
Wow. Well, that's
poor
on
guy.
them for not securing the fence to the ground.
I remember getting a fight with a fence.
And there should be a post along the
Look,
bottom.
he's apologizing to the
Yeah,
dog for me.
Ugh.
That's just the setup.
This little camera angle where I get blacked out, is that a thing
Yes,
still?
it's very sick.
Dude, look at that.
That
Love
is
that.
so dope.
This was the start of it.
Love that.
You should tattoo that on your back.
Yeah.
So what
silhouette.
motivated this? This was out of character for you.
To go off this roof?
Not only that, but to
Oh!
fucking land on the ground.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I don't really know. Looked like fun, I guess.
Wanted
That
to
was
put
his
Johnny
finisher.
Light's mother's homeowner's insurance to the test.
Right. It was probably because Johnny Light said, don't touch the fence and don't go on the roof. So I was like, I'm going to do both of those things.
Do you know who you're talking to?
Yeah, that was a bad idea to say that to me.
Dom, what are your thoughts on watching this whole show as a fan, as an outside perspective?
Yeah, let me tell you all about it. All right, so first things first, I'm the realist. No, so right off the bat, watching JP jump off of that roof was crazy. So mainly because like I have seen now with the backyard video you put out, like you jump off a roof and do a like backflip 540, which is insane. And I'm thinking like, okay, he's jumping off of very high stuff, all of these things, blah, blah, blah. But in this particular clip, he's on a house and there's nothing else down there but earth. Like there is no base. There is no spot. Like I'd rather land on a table or the base than anything. Yep. And you do, I think, a spiral tap and it looks like your leg like pegs into the ground a little bit there. That had to hurt so bad.
Yeah, so I remember thinking like this roof is not that high, and like I wanted it to be cooler than just jumping off of that roof. So I'm like, he was like, "You want me to catch you?" I'm like, just get out of the way.
I feel it really wasn't that high.
No, it wasn't.
It
Like,
was-
if the roof was higher, I probably would have been like,
Yeah, right.
But the roof wasn't high enough for me to think like this is cool enough to do.
And
on
you
its
drove
own.
home just fine, so you weren't fucked.
No, it didn't hurt at all.
You're very
Really?
lucky.
Yeah, it did not
So
hurt
this
at all.
is-
Soft landing on the grass.
This is Indiana, and this is where you guys went after Clarion?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It is interesting to see the longevity of it all, especially with JP, because I didn't really know he really traveled that much.
Yeah.
But even before this, like 2 episodes ago, you were tagging along with Steve for almost for the whole thing. Like you did it as long as everybody almost,
Yeah.
you know? So
We're there for it,
yeah.
at least, yeah.
Also, just because I have the mic in front of my face, like JAS2, how long ago was that from JAS1? Was it a year difference?
JAS 1 was in May, and then JAS 2 was in August or July.
July.
Okay,
July.
so that really does explain a lot with the way I think about these, because I said in the last one that it felt like everything was a year apart, and it never was.
No.
Yeah, okay, so
There was actually a thing between me and Brandon because anytime that I would want to have a BYS, he would sneak a JAS in there first.
Yeah.
Just so he could always say, like, JAS 5 came first. Dude.
That's right.
Every single time.
That's right.
And,
you know what else came first? Sunday Night Heat,
Yeah, right.
which was also awesome.
And that's one of the reasons why he shoehorned a JAS 3 in there, just to make sure that happened before a BYS 3 might happen. So here we have the group picture from Midwest Extravaganza. We have Josh Todd making his way all the way to Indiana for a backyard wrestling show.
Yeah, he did.
In the most Josh Todd pose I've ever seen.
It looks like you were photoshopped in on that.
Fucking Hack Edgeman laying down there, giving the old indie fist right behind him. Got Focus Steve doing the same thing.
I think we're all doing the indie fist for some reason.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? Yeah.
No,
now
we're
that I'm
doing, we
looking.
might be doing Cockstrong. I don't know. I can't tell. But yeah, it looks like we're all doing the same thing.
Me hanging out with my homie Rockin' and Devin sitting on Big Will, which I just fucking love. That's just some 5-star shit. There's JP on the top of the ladder back there, too.
Who's that guy with the mohawk?
I was just thinking that. I think that was just one of their guys.
Yeah,
I think
his
his name
name
was
was
like Freak Show or something.
I thought it was Austin or something.
Austin, yeah.
That
Yeah.
would have been like a younger, skinnier Zane, though, right?
Right.
That's who I was thinking it was from here. I'm blind.
ICW was, like we said, it was Devin and the pen name and Chris Castle, also Chongo, Johnny Light, Bone Crusher, Executioner, Austin. It was a giant fed. They had a whole lot of people, a lot of YouTube followers too. So like, there's Rad Hazard, who we said we met for the first time this weekend, and
From Las Vegas, Nevada.
right, yeah, came from
Flew
Las
into
Vegas.
this.
This was his first Super Show.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Sean Jovi was from Wisconsin. Slick back hair guy. Only person I don't know his name. But yeah, this is the group, and good times were had by all. No Beast Snow here this weekend,
Yeah,
which
that's
was
weird.
weird.
That Shadow was there.
Shadow and DC Doom.
And DC Doom. Why?
And
I wonder
Catonic, right? No.
I know why Beast Snow wasn't there.
Tell
Why?
me why, Dom.
So he couldn't think of what to do for his match. so he just didn't show up.
I agree.
Yeah, he's
100%
scared.
They said,
I
"What do you
thought
want
the
to do
roads
for the
were
match?" He
salted.
said, "I'll get to you." I love Brandon. I have to say it.
So that was Midwest Extravaganza in Indiana, Anderson, Indiana. And after that show ended, we drive back to Pittsburgh, as we do. You know, we got to get home somehow. So as much as I complained about the drive to Indiana, the drive home from Indiana was my favorite fucking road trip that we ever had. It was a 7+ hour drive that felt like an hour and a half. This is where me, Josh, and Ed became best friends. We absolutely were in the vibiest of vibes in the history of car trips. We discussed life. We discussed Violent J's behind the paint.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah,
That's right.
And this is when you were learning for the first time. So we were like telling you stories, and we were all getting all real freaking into it,
Yeah,
you know?
because it would have just been me and JP. And,
Right, yeah, you guys were up front, us three in the back.
Right, that makes
Were
sense.
we driving your mom's van?
No, it was your dog.
It was the Journey. Or whatever.
The white one.
The white one, yeah.
So,
with the refrigerator in the glove
Yeah.
box.
There was also a conversation that we had on this trip home about deja vu. Do you remember? We were just talking, sharing the car about
Didn't you talk to me about this already?
Dude, we had a
Or am I having
really
deja
deep
vu?
conversation that night.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were
so many.
Like really deep.
we were
I remember
we were
this.
in literal tears.
I
Crying.
remember
Yes.
you saying that. I remember. Yeah.
I do remember this.
So
Tell me about it.
We're gonna.
You
I'm
gotta.
watching the podcast, and as an audience member, tell me about one of them.
Tell me about it, Stud.
So we were going around the car sharing our ideas about what we believed deja vu came from.
Because I had just experienced it in such a bizarre scenario.
Right. Do you remember your idea?
It's still something I might believe in today.
Go for it.
Which, first of all, Dom, as you know, I've been experiencing a lot of really weird shit lately. And the more
he's been looking in the mirror.
the more I'm
been
experiencing
JP?
weird shit, the more it's opening my mind to the possibility that life isn't what we perceive it to be. And the possibilities are endless, and it's our job as humans and souls and consciousness to find how to reach this. So I think at that time, in hindsight, it's really weird that this kind of was like the start of it in some capacity, because it is so unlike anything I would have ever conceived. In so many words, I came up with a scenario because we were really trying to figure it out, and I was like, well, what if that moment of deja vu is as real as it feels, because maybe in the future there's a way to time travel, whether it's in life or in the afterlife, whatever. Say there's random moments that we are picking along the way that we don't realize we're picking. Almost like, I remember specifically, like if you were to open a book and you go through pages, boom, 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 just random moments that are so obscure in your life that you really don't know. And in that moment, what if we jump back into that? Not to change the past, but to experience it. Because you essentially manifest yourself back into where you were, and you are literally experiencing that moment again. And at that moment when that's happening, that's why you have that sensation of, this feels familiar, because it does to your future self. And I remember pitching that, and I remember the car got quiet.
Yeah, it really made us all internally reflect on ourselves and what we believed in and what may or may not be possible.
I didn't know that had such a like. I remember at the time, like I remember you said that, like, I mean, Josh in particular was like, I'm about to cry, like at that moment. But I didn't realize that like resonated with you guys as much. That why did you?
I don't know if
look
it was
within, or why did it move you so much?
I don't know if that was the moment that crying thing happened.
Oh, okay.
I think that
Fuck
Fuck myself.
I think that was I think that was in line leading up to the moments where we're all on the exact same
vibes.
level of and like we're all feeling what each other are saying perfectly.
Can I pitch something right now?
No.
I believe we all connected because we acknowledge the strangeness of the world, and our consciousness as individuals. We're all connecting in a way that we can't comprehend, that we can all feel each other at the same time, because that's what life is about, is the experience. And I think that now, looking back. Continue.
No, I feel that. And a lot of it was like, whenever I first read the book Behind the Paint, Violent J tells a story about how he was at the bottom of the steps with his brother, and he looks up to the top of the steps and sees God.
Have you ever read that book, Dominic? Sorry.
No, you're good.
Audiobook, because I can't read.
Right.
But you know the story?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're talking about that. We're telling you that story, some of the other stories from Behind the Paint. And whenever I first read that, I was crying. So like telling that story puts you back in that same type of environment. And with us being so excited to share these stories with you who knew absolutely nothing about the ICP, along with the theories about that shit. And we were just, everything was flying, having a great time. And we even got semi-lost at one point and end up on a back road, and we're discussing like, dude, if we see any downed trees, that means that someone's trying to fucking kill us or kidnap us. So like, if you see a downed tree, JP, just throw it in reverse.
Dude, so that is a real thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, I went to a racetrack one time, and the guy literally told us, he said, look, the track is like in the cut. It's back in the woods, and you're gonna have to drive down this road. And he said that it has happened before. They cut trees down and lay them across the road, wait for you to stop at said tree, and they rob you.
Yep.
Pull you out of the car, do whatever they do. They might kill you. I don't know. But that was told to us. Like, don't stop. If you see a tree down, go around it. So I told you that story.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah, and we're on the back roads at the time trying to find our way back to the highway.
Yeah.
The trip was great. We all became great friends that night, and Ed wanted me to make sure I brought it up, but I was going to anyway. Me and Josh talked about it at the wedding a little bit. It's a very memorable moment in my life, and I'm happy it happened. So much to the point where it was like, all right, maybe this wrestling thing ain't so bad. I'm not going to quit. Like, I had a great time going. Let's keep running it. Everything's okay. Like, the weekend ended just fine. And like I said, it was a 7-hour trip that ended up feeling like an hour and a half. Like, it was done in no time. We were all home and ready to go to sleep. And that was the end of Midwest Extravaganza.
Are you sure we didn't take the van?
How
many of us were there?
Because I drove.
Positive.
That was like I just got my license recently, and I remember you were sitting in the
It
front.
was
with
only
me,
5.
Oh, 5.
driving
Okay.
your mom's car.
Yeah. So, that was the end of Midwest Extravaganza. And that's pretty much the end of the podcast for us tonight. Right, absolutely. It was great to have JP back in the house.
Yes, sir.
Having Josh along, always a good time.
Yep.
Steve here for every episode, along with me and Dominic. And that is the end of our traveling super shows for the year 2009. Great year for us. We still had one more home super show to go, which is what we're going to end up talking about the next episode, along with a couple ground zeros thrown in. And I think Ed wants to come back for that one. Big times ahead, big times behind. Everything's good. SWC revival's going. Finally, we're ready to run this shit. And Backyard Wrestling is back all the way. Especially for us who were just in for the full run of it.
It's definitely 100% a monthly occurrence.
Yes.
You know, BYS1, June, JAS2, July, August, WrestleFest, September, BYS2, October, JAS3, Midwest, 2 and 1. So it's great. It's
Popping.
probably the most fun I ever had.
I think I agree with you. The run in 2009 and even like the beginning of 2010 was just amazing.
Leviver.
Since we're right in the middle of that right now, we're going to keep it trucking for the next episode. And I would like to end this episode since Dominic has the microphone.
Yeah.
I want Dominic to tell me what his favorite NASCAR driver of all time is.
Jeff Gordon.
Oh, I was going to answer it. It's Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
And if you recreate the history of NASCAR and use the original point system and just use the exact same outcomes, Jeff Gordon has 7 championships, and that would tie him with the most. So
If
fuck
ifs
that
and buts
sport.
were cherries and nuts, Jeff Gordon would be a champion.
Son of a bitch. You're right.
Yep, that's all for us tonight. Golden Triangle Media out.